That day on that train, I was just like, I literally texted my girl and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do this anymore. And then when we got back to Toronto, like me and Julie, actually we were living in LA at the time, and we got to LA, and then me and Julie kind of had a little bit of a conversation, and I was just like, man, I'm not into this anymore.
Wake it up, everybody. It's your boy, Marckie P. I'm back with another Manscaped product. It's called the Weed Whacker. Electric nose and ear hair trimmer. And trim your belly button. Do whatever you want. Sometimes the nose hairs, they just fall out. You don't need that. You can't be talking to a girl at the bar. She looks over. You got little stragglers just falling out of your nose. Clean them up. Get rid of it. Manscaped is the leading company in men's below the waist products. Manscaped.com. Big night is the code. 20% off. Free shipping. Like, what more can you want? You got to keep, it's spring. Clean it all up. The ladies will love it. Your wife, your mistress, whoever you're showing off for. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Manscaped. Beautiful products. I love them. Get them at manscaped.com. Big night code, 20% off and free shipping. Let's go. Get up, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Marckie P Show. My guest today is 11-time platinum worldwide certifications.
Wow.
2 billion collective streams. And on your latest project, 1 million streams. Luis Torres, welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, man? Wow, you made me you bigged me up there quite a bit, man.
That's what we do on this show, you know. I mean, you're like a legend in your own right, you know. You deserve it.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
What's new?
Nothing, man. Just a baby on the way pretty soon.
Congrats, man. I saw that.
I know, man. It's exciting times, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, marriage, babies. I mean, that's not that. None of that is in my future, but hey, man, more power to you.
Are you sure about that, man? It's fun, man.
I'm sure I got a couple running around somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere. Probably in Mexico or, you know, some random spot in the world. What's new other than that?
Nothing, man. Just been trying to get back in the groove of things now that, like, you know, events are starting to pop up again, and like starting to get word of like Vegas shows starting up again, and yeah, so just exciting times. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a full year of absolutely being bored.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing a lot of Warzone.
I had to cut down Warzone because that game kind of sucks now. But
yeah, we're gonna talk about that because you're a gamer, I'm a gamer, okay. I'm a Warzone guy. And before we hop into music and you being a legend, we're gonna talk video games.
I'm down, man.
Yeah, what is your state on video games right now? Warzone especially.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, so Warzone was a thing. Warzone became a thing for me just because, like, all my friends who don't typically game started to play Warzone. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, like, that's a good way to hang out with my boys back from Toronto and stuff. But I mean, like, if Fortnite didn't become as sweaty as it did, I would still be playing Fortnite like 8 hours a day. That game is the best video game ever made. It's just that, like, the kids who play it are just too sweaty. Like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I agree. It's insanity. You're just like, you're trying to shoot people and they're building McMansions. Literally mansions everywhere. Literally like 7-story mansions. No, I mean, the thing with Fortnite that I liked was I liked the building, right? I like it's just that it became offensive. You know what I mean? Like, when it was just like defensive and like if you were getting shot at, you could just build yourself a little thing, like regroup, pop a mini, and then get back with a fight. But like, it just became to the point where like that is the meta. Like, you need, like, everything comes down to the way you build, and then shooting is secondary. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's kind of where I disconnected with the game a little bit. And then also, like, same as before, like, all my friends that were playing at the beginning, they all just completely stopped playing. And I'm not going to hop into solos, you know what I mean? And sit there all day. It's so boring.
That's not fun. Solos isn't fun really in any game.
No, not really at all. Yeah, like duos, trios is like the magic number. Quads is too many. Like, for quads on Warzone, it's too much chaos, man.
Yeah, I play with 3 British dudes. And it's just mayhem. I've never been called the C word more times in my life than when you play Call of Duty with a bunch of Brits.
I'm not surprised, man. The thing with quads is that you always get the one guy who's just not paying any attention to what the rest of you guys are doing.
3 guys go one way, one guy goes the other.
One guy's on the other side of the map chasing down contracts. Like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, where are you going, dude? Wrong direction. The storm is this way.
Yeah. What are you doing, man? But yeah, besides that, I mean, BRs were just like a big thing for the past few years. I was really into BRs, but I mean, I'm kind of over them now just because like it's just become stale. You know what I mean? Like Warzone, I honestly don't find fun anymore.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, I've started to play less than when, pandemic was starting. But,
for sure.
But they're just doing stuff to the game that just like they put zombies in. You're like, nobody wants this.
No, nobody wants that. I mean, that's similar to what happened with Fortnite, right? They just kept adding so much shit that people were just like, what's this?
Yeah, the game was perfect already, and you went and you just fucked it up.
Like season 3, season 4 Fortnite is like peak gaming like experience ever. Like, bro, every single person and their mom was playing fucking Fortnite.
Legit.
And like, oh man, it was I'm literally getting goosebumps talking about it.
Dude, I love it. It's like
times.
You'd go to a house party and there'd be that one person playing Fortnite and there'd be 50 people behind them just drinking beers, getting weird.
Yeah, watching. Yeah.
And then you get a victory royale and people are just fucking sprinting through the house naked. You're like, whoa. Like, when did we get a zebra here? Well, like, how did this happen?
What happened? Oh man, but yeah, BR's kind of got stale, so now I've been playing a lot of Rocket League. Interestingly enough,
I messed around with a little Rocket League.
Do you play it like actually, like, because it's fun. The skill ceiling on that game is insane.
I don't play it nearly as much as I should, but when I do play it, I have a blast. That might have been a rocket pun, actually. I think that was a rocket.
Nicely done. Yeah, honestly, I have a lot of fun playing Rocket League, and it's like, the game's 5 years old and it's still fun, and like I'm still learning in that game. You know what I mean? Like, at no point have I been bored with Rocket League, which is a testament to how fun it is.
Yeah, that's true. When you were playing Warzone, what was your go-to loadout, and where were you dropping?
So the drop, we'd always find a drop that had at least one recon. I guess that was like our thing. Like, go for the one recon right off the bat.
Find the next storm circle.
Exactly. Yeah, and start moving in.
Right.
But yeah, loadout was definitely secondary. Kind of changed a lot over the as the meta changed. I guess the secondary changed, but for sure, car 98 as the primary.
Yeah,
had to go with the car. I love the car.
Yeah,
I love sniping in Call of Duty.
Yeah, I watched your clip the other day that you posted. It was just,
man, I love sniping.
You went to snipe the guy, and then you actually threw a knife. You killed the guy with a knife.
Yeah, that was in Search. See, okay, so that's the thing. I'd much rather play Search and Destroy than Warzone. I love Search and Destroy.
Yeah,
and I have a definitely like a nice crew of guys, like a full team of 6 that like every Friday and Saturday, those guys are all online, and we always just crush like Search and Destroy for like 2-3 hours.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, back to Warzone. I guess my secondary originally was like an MP5, and then it became the Grau. And then from the ground went to the Mac 10, and now I think FFAR or something like that.
FFAR is what I run. I run FFAR and a Car 98.
Yeah, well, see, we're similar there. Very
melts,
nice.
Bro. It feels like cheating.
It does. The FFAR is ridiculous. You know what though? I recently tried changing to the Pellington instead of the car.
My buddy Sam loves the Pellington.
There's no glint on it, so when you're aiming down sight, people don't know that you're aiming down sight, which is so stupid.
Yeah. Same with the Tundra. Broken. Tundra has like a 4x scope with no glint.
That's insane.
So you can just kill
people. The Pellington is the bullet drop. I have no idea how to read the bullet drop on the Pellington. It's so consistent.
It sounds delicious when you shoot it, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It sounds amazing.
Just
so
delicious.
Rewarding.
It's so rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's hop into your DJ career and your producing career. Sweet. When did you decide that you wanted to start DJing and producing music?
Oh man. Long time ago. So the first time I downloaded or got my introduction into music production was I think FL Studio 4 or something. We're talking years ago. So FL Studio is now like on 11 or 12, and they change like every 2 years. So I'm guessing I'm talking about like 16 years ago, like the first time I ever picked up a workstation or whatever, a DAW, and just went and tried to make some stuff. At that point, like I had no aspirations to do this for a living or anything like that. I just really, really liked dance music. And I guess going back a tiny bit before that, so about in grade 9, I had listened to dance music, obviously, but I didn't really know what it was. I called it techno and beats. I didn't know what. Yeah, I didn't know.
Everybody called it techno. It was techno forever.
Exactly. And then my buddy's like, no, the shit you like is called house music. And I remember like that night I went on, I don't know if it was Napster at the time or like LimeWire or something. I just searched house music.
LimeWire, huh? You decided to just give your computer a disease.
Yeah, right.
You just completely destroyed your whole computer.
Mess it all up.
Your parents must have been pissed.
I had my own computer.
Okay, so yeah. Fucked up your own computer. That's fine.
I was a tech nerd, man. I built my own computer and stuff. Like I bought everything. Yeah, I was super into gaming at the time. And this is like, I'm talking like COD 1 or COD 2 days, like the OG COD,
yeah.
OG CODs. But yeah, and then when he told me it was called house music, like I said, I went home, downloaded a bunch of music on LimeWire or whatever it was at the time. And honestly, bro, like never looked back. Like that was like the moment that I was like, all right, this is the best music in the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's nothing else that hits me like electronic music, right? Because like within electronic music, you have how many genres?
A million subgenres. A million.
Like so for every single mood you're in, there's a genre of electronic music that'll
very
suit
true,
mood, right? And yeah, and then like at that moment, like I like literally my Sony mini disc player went from having like Eminem and like rock on it to like just being dance music.
Love that.
The entire thing. So I'd be like in class, just with my little earphones in, still listening to music. And then, as that built and like my love for the music built, I started like, oh, how the hell do you make this stuff? Right. And yeah, and that's kind of
sparks your creativity.
Exactly. Right. That's kind of what lined up with the discovering FL Studio. And then I just kind of went from there. Like I said, there was no aspirations for it to be something that I did for a living or anything like that. It was just something I was doing for fun. And then I started DJing, I guess, with my buddy in 10th grade or 11th grade or something like that. We started like doing like local school dances or whatever, what every kid does when they start DJing. Take whatever gig you can get,
Right. Yeah. Whatever. School dance, parking lot, whatever it is. Somewhere.
Exactly. And then, I think the moment it really started to hit with me that like this could be a thing was like me and Julian had Zecco and I guess
Julian Zecco,
yeah, Julian Zecco, yeah. I don't know, some guy from Toronto that I had known, like I don't even know how I knew this guy. We had just gone to get wings a couple times that he was telling me about.
Good food to get to have conversations over.
Right, exactly. Great food to talk over. But yeah, he was telling me, he was like, yeah, I'm going to start this like online radio thing, and it was called Euro Status, and it was all dance music, and people would call in and do requests and stuff. But yeah, so we started doing like a Thursday night show with him. Started with like having 60 listeners a week. We got to the point where he had to buy a new server because we were doing like 800 people tuning in every week.
That's fire.
Yeah, and it was just amazing because it just like grew and grew and grew, and it was like this guy was really good at knowing how to promote it to like high school students. You know what I mean? And getting like the high school crowd in it, and like literally the chat would be like the equivalent of a Twitch chat now. It's just like exploding while we're DJing or whatever.
That's awesome.
And and that was like, that for me was like the real beginning. I was like, oh man, this would be actually cool to do for an actual living. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
that's the point.
First of all, meeting somebody over wings is a fantastic start to your career.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Like, could it be better?
Yeah. No, couldn't have been better.
So what have been some of like your most memorable shows, and also because every DJ that I have come on this show, your worst show and your first show, whichever one you want, unless you want to do them all.
Yeah. Okay. I could see if I could do them all. So, best shows, obviously festivals are the most fun, I think, like in terms of just like pure energy that you feel from the crowd. So I guess like home festivals in Toronto, like Veld, probably Veld, I think 2015 was the last time we played it together. Yeah. And that was just insane. Like that was like the peak of like, we had like L'Amour Toujours was just like crushing.
Absolute fire track.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm going to need your permission to use it on. I need to use it. I'm going to need to use it for YouTube. So I'm going to need your permission.
All right. Yeah. I think you should be able to put it up. Actually, I don't think you'll get striked or anything, but anyways, yeah. So at that time, like, that was like our biggest song, and everything was just going really, really well. And so, yeah, definitely 2015 Veld. I'm pretty sure the year is 2015. I could be wrong, and it might be 2016, but I'm pretty Richards 2015. That was definitely like the most memorable show of my entire career.
Let me hop in here. What does that feel like for you when you release a track like that will now still gets played in people's sets and just, I mean, everybody loves it. I love the track. Producer George in the back is giving me a thumbs up. He's like, I love this track. What does that feel like to have a song that's essentially timeless?
I mean, okay, so basically, I don't know if people know, like, there's a lot of people who probably don't know that it's an old song. It's like the original version of it is from 1997, I think, by a guy, Gigi D'Agostino. He's an Italian guy. And so growing up in Toronto, this is the one thing I got to say, having grown up anywhere else in the world, my life would have been completely different. Like, there is dance music in our blood in Toronto. Like, our pop radio in the mid 2000s and late 90s, and even till to today, there's 2 or 3 stations that pump dance music in the middle of the day. There's like a mix that's called the Drive at 5. Okay, this is the Drive at 5 street mix. And the DJ who's been doing it for years is just like, that's what every kid tunes into when they get home. Not anymore, I guess. Now with the internet, there's so many other things to do. But I mean, like, when I was younger, come home from high school, do whatever for 45 minutes, I guess, MSN Messenger, and then turn on the Drive at 5. And so the first time that I heard some of our songs on the Drive at 5 was like a great moment. But when we first started hearing them support L'Amour Toujours, it was just different because it was every freaking week that this guy was playing this. And so like, and like I said, like, growing up in Toronto, like the original version had been something that I had heard on the radio. So, and then it was completely forgotten about. Like, I didn't hear the original for a good 10 years, maybe. Yeah. From like 2005 until when we decided to remake it. And so the entire idea for the song came in Vegas, actually. We played a Wet Republic show or something with Tiesto, and then we went to his room afterwards, and he was like, guys, like, you guys are like Toronto. He literally said this. He's like, you guys are Toronto guys. You guys must have grown up with Euro dance. And we're like, yeah, man, that's like our bread and butter. That's what we grew up with. And he's like, man, let's find an old Euro dance song to bring it back.
Tiesto's a genius.
And what a genius, right?
He's a genius.
What an absolute fucking genius. Like,
he's a sweetheart, but like mentally, I'm pretty sure he's just genius.
Yeah, no, he's the nicest person. Sorry, we're getting a little bit off topic here, but Tiesto is definitely put on this planet to be the world's best DJ and biggest DJ.
I agree.
Because he's got that charisma that as soon as he walks into the room, he lights up the room. I mean, I'm sure you've been in rooms where he walks and it's just instantly a party. Instantly. Like, he doesn't have to say a fucking word. He just walks in. Everybody's in a good mood.
He glows. I'm pretty sure he glows.
Glowing. Yeah, he's fucking glowing. It'll be like in the darkest room in the world, and Tiesto is still like a spotlight shining on him.
Yeah, it's like Toronto lost power. Can we send Tiesto?
Tiesto over, yeah. So he was like, man, we gotta find an old like Eurodance track to remake, and we had a couple that I had the idea for, and then we're like, how about L'Amour Toujours? And he was like, fuck, that's a perfect one. Am I allowed to swear, by the way?
Yeah, you can swear, man. Fuck.
Oh, okay. Fuck. All right. Fucking great. So we go down to his to the room or whatever, and he was like, maybe we should go. Literally, he's like, fuck, let's work on it right now. And I'm like, do we have a studio we can go to? He's like, fuck it, let's just go to Guitar Center, buy some speakers, and set them up right here in a little MIDI keyboard. And that's literally what we did. Like, we went an hour after. We were drunk, by the way. Like, we're in Guitar Center, wasted from playing a Wet Republic show, and we had to stay in Hakkasan. We had to stay in Vegas for like another 3 nights because we had a Hakkasan show at the end of that week. I think this was like this is like CES or something, maybe not CES, but some kind of conference. So we played a middle of the week show, which typically doesn't happen in Vegas, and then we had until the Sunday, which we were going to play a Hakkasan show. And so he's like, let's go get this. We walk into Guitar Center, smashed. I don't know why he bought 3 sets of speakers. He's like, fuck it, in case somebody else comes by, like, whatever. He's just having a good time. So we get back, we all have some dinner, and then we go into the studio the next day, and we did the whole song in literally a day. Like,
that's so sick.
Like literally one freaking day. Maybe like some touch-ups on the second day or whatever. But and honestly, to be fully honest with you, like, the second that we finished it, we were like, all right, boys, we have something here. Like, right. Like this is gonna do something.
You had like that butterfly feeling kind of thing,
right? Exactly. No, like 100% accurate. Like, literally, like, finished we played it back through the speakers, terrible speakers in a terrible room. We literally set them up in the room that he had at his room in the mansions at the MGM, in the room that was like meant to be the gym. So there was like a little treadmill beside us, and it's just
sweet.
It's just me, Julian, and Tice just sitting here. Oh man, it was funny. But yeah, like literally the last little playback, we're like, fuck man, this slams. And then it became kind of a disaster because we couldn't clear the song. Because Gigi D'Agostino was like, hey, like I'm not going to clear this. Like he was actually insulted at our version.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah, he was like, this is like a punch in the face or kick in the nuts, or he said something that like very over the top response on the email, and I was like, okay,
thanks, man.
Thanks,
it,
bro. But so then we had to actually, I don't know if you know this, we quickly rewrote the lyrics, we changed the melody a little bit, and we sent it to Musical Freedom, and they're like, yeah, guys, this works, but this is not as good as the original version.
Right.
And then somebody over at the label did a little bit of research and found out that if we produced it in the same key, with the same melody and the same lyrics, that we could actually release it under cover law. So it's a cover.
Okay.
So yeah, so Gigi D'Agostino actually still kept all the writing for the song.
Okay.
Because he wrote the original song. So we have no writing on that version. Okay. But what we do have is performance rights, because it's our version and it's our names on there or whatever.
Right.
And yeah, when we finally figured that out, Tice is like, he sent me a text message and it was like 1 million like bottles of champagne. He's like, bro, like be ready for this one. This one's gonna pop off.
That's so awesome.
And yeah, and I you know, I had a feeling that it was gonna do well, but I had no idea it was gonna do what it did, man. This is pre-Spotify days, and we're at 100 million streams on it on Spotify. And this came out 2015 when Spotify was nothing. Like, what was Spotify? I didn't have a Spotify back then. Everything was
stolen from the internet.
Yeah, this thing was stolen from the internet or purchased off Beatport. The song came out, went #1 on Beatport. And like I said, I started hearing it on the Drive at 5, and they took it off the Drive at 5 and started adding it to its own rotation.
That's
and
so
like
sick.
Playing by and then like man, and then it just like we literally just saw like it just exploded. Like within a month of the release, it was on radios. I think it was on like 480 radio stations on full rotation, like playing once an hour. It went like gold, and I think it went platinum in Sweden. So we got to tour a lot out of it in Sweden, and man, it was just insane. It was cool because to me, like, it felt like I was reviving a classic. You know what I mean? Like one of the songs that I grew up. That's gotta be a great feeling. Exactly. One of the songs that I grew up with singing and like, man, just having a great time to. We brought it back, and so that a whole new generation, literally, of people could, go out and enjoy this song, because it's a beautiful song, man. The melody is ridiculously great.
Yeah.
The vocals are fantastic. Delaney Jane absolutely smashed it on the vocals.
Yeah, she's so talented.
She's amazing. She's the best. She's honestly like, not to big up Toronto any more than I already have, but man, we have so much talent.
We love the Six. We love the Six.
I love the Six. I'm loving Vegas now because I live here now, but yeah, the Six is just on another level in terms of like musical talent. It's just ridiculous.
That's true. Young George actually raised his hand in the background. I think he wants to ask you a question.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to add up. I think it was Ultra 2015 that Tiesto debuted the song for the first time. Yeah. I still get like butterflies inside of me from like the first time that I heard it, and now hearing your story is like so amazing. And it's crazy. It's crazy to know everything that happened. It happened in a day. And yeah, it's a really, really good track. It's a timeless classic.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. And actually, a little funny story about that that Ultra set. So I'm a little bit confused now. Is that the one where we came up on stage and introduced the song? Is that year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that year, fucking Tice, he gave me it's like, I think the first time I'd ever seen a crowd that large, right? Like he calls us up onto stage and he's like, I remember like just stepping out on there and just seeing like a sea of people that just doesn't end. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I'm like so nervous. And Tice is Tiesto, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know. Tice, he like looks at me. He's like, hey, you're good on the mic, bro. Like, why don't you say something to hype up the crowd? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck am I going to say?
I can barely think right now.
Yeah, I can't even put a thought together, bro. And so he's like, bro, do it. Like you'll crush it. And he gives me the mic. I don't even know what I said. It was just absolutely blank
out
moment. Yeah, full blackout moment. I think I just said make some noise for Tiesto.
Yeah, give it up for Tiesto.
Yeah, there you go.
George is a dance music historian.
That's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, that was another. I'm getting goosebumps again just talking about that moment, because that's one of the moments where like you'll never forget that ever.
Right.
You know, I can tell my grandkids about that moment.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that song, to sum everything up here, really changed our career. I mean, we were doing well already. But we had, club tracks.
Right.
We had tracks that like DJs were supporting. And like, if you were really into dance music, you knew our stuff because it would show up on Beatport, whatever. But that track really took us to like a whole other level where like, kids in Toronto, like family members of mine, all of a sudden knew my music. You know what I mean? Like literally kids that were 12 years younger than I am, who didn't have any experience with electronic music or anything. They were hearing it on the radio, and it's just like, yeah, it was just insane. Like we said, like right from the beginning, we knew we had something special, but I had no idea it was going to do what it did.
I mean, that's awesome too. Looking back now, you finally get a chance to look back and see how special that track really is.
Yeah.
What was your first show, and what was your worst show?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Wow, we went on a tangent.
I love it. No, man, that's what this show's about, man. It's you just let it rip.
All right, sick. Okay, so first show. Are we talking about like first show as Zeko and Torres? Or are we talking about like first ever? Okay,
I mean, first ever, whichever one you think lends more memorable.
First ever is way less fun. It was just like some, literally, like I said before, like some like elementary school dance, and it wasn't with Zeko. It was with another guy. We used to be his name was Paul Hughes, and I think my name at the time was Louis Fervent. And bro, do you want to know the story behind that? Pretty much there was these big Toronto DJs that were on the radio. Their name was Manzone and Strong. Okay. And my buddy Paul was like, man, we need a name like that. So I went on and I searched synonyms for the word strong.
Oh my God.
And one of them was
random fervent. Name generator.
Yeah. And one of them was Fervent. So Louis Fervent. And then, that was our first ever gig. And I mean, like, we were just playing whatever was on the radio at the time. We weren't an artist in any, in any way. We didn't have any music. We were just like, this is also around the time that I had just been experimenting with production. And so we had a couple remixes of like random stuff that we played into our set. But, we're playing for kids in grade 7 who don't give a fucking shit what we're playing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. But first show as Zeko and Torres was it was actually kind of cool. It was like this local club, and like growing up in your city, you always like dream of playing in your clubs. Now it doesn't matter which club it is, right? Like you're just like, man, the day I get to play a nightclub is gonna be sick. So we show up, and it was like the patio. They had a hip hop DJ on before us, and it was like, I think it was a Halloween party. This must have been in like 2009, 2010, so a long time ago. And yeah, we just went up there, did our thing, and a couple people came up to us afterwards, like, man, you guys really crushed it. And that was like the first time that we were already playing some of our own music. Not that anybody knew who we were, or that we had or any of our own music or anything.
Right.
But like in the set of like, probably 25 songs, we played like 2 or 3 of our own productions that we were working on.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it was cool to like, we had a couple people filming and stuff, and like that was like the first moment where like, okay, man, like, we're real DJs now.
Right.
But we were so far from actually doing anything good, right? But it was a good start. Worst gig, man. There's too many. There's so many terrible.
No.
There's so many terrible gigs, and I think that's one of the big misconceptions with like young DJ guys or young producers, or like, man, once I get on the road, it's gonna be amazing,
right,
bro? It's shit. Like,
yeah.
Because unless you're a big act, you're going to be playing either shitty nightclubs for shitty promoters, or you're going to be playing like 16 sets before the headliner, before anybody else walks in.
Right.
But to be honest, at the same time, like that's the way you learn, right? That's how you become a better DJ. You learn how to like build energy, which is so fucking important.
Yeah, that's very, very important.
It's so important. And to just touch upon what I'm doing now, like that's why I'm back, because I just missed that. And I love setting the tone and doing all that, which is why I had to get back on the decks. But yeah, so there's just so many bad gigs, man. I can remember like The first time I think we went to like Switzerland was we played for like 6 people. First time we went to like Albania. Oh man. Okay. Albania. I got to tell this story.
Oh yeah. So, I'm buckling up. I'm putting the seatbelt on.
Albania.
We're locked in.
Albania. Albania will go down as one of the gigs that I'll never forget because we walk in. The club was called Club Matrix. I'm pretty sure. Man.
And Keanu Reeves drops from the ceiling.
Yeah, he just fucking no, but man, the club was insane, dude. I was actually mind blown. Like they had such great production. Like the center kind of looked like Omnia. Like they had like the chandelier. I mean, and this is pre-Omnia, so like they were like kind of ahead of the game here. And they had pyro off the sides of the stage or whatever. And we didn't see the club before we went out there. Like we just like sitting in the back room or the kitchen or whatever the fuck green room they set up. And the guy's like, all right, you guys are up in like 10 minutes. We walk out. And I just remember looking at Julian and just being like, what the fuck is this? It was like, there's no dance floor. So the entire venue is like tables, like bar stool size, like bro, like, so like a table that's like a circle and like four people can comfortably stand there.
Like a dive bar table, essentially.
Bro, yeah, exactly. And the entire set, like I look out into the crowd and this is it. So this is the guys are all standing on the table with their shoulder, like their elbow on the table, and they got their drink in their hand and they're just like drinking. And nobody danced. Nobody. Actually, at the very front, we got I think like 3 or 4 chicks to dance. And these guys, the entire set, bro, me and Julian were just like, and when the crowd's not into it, like as a DJ, you're not into it at all. Like whatever tension that you're like, whatever like lack of energy that the crowd is feeling is times 10 for the DJ. Cause you're like, fuck, like I'm the reason that they're not dancing. Like I'm never going to get fucking booked here again. Like there's just so many things that go through your head.
Right.
At the very end of the set, we played L'Amour Toujours and some people sang it and we were like, oh fuck, at least someone.
Okay. Somebody's got something going on.
Somebody's got something. And bro, at the end of the set, they all just started clapping. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
It's so confusing.
But bro, like a full round of applause. Like, and the resident DJ like fucking comes up and he's like giving us hugs. He's like, you guys fucking crushed it, man. Like, what?
Your brain is just falling on the ground because you have no idea what's happening.
Did you see them? Like, what? We didn't crush shit. And then the promoter comes back into the green room. He's like, oh my God, boys, we need to get you back here like ASAP. Like you guys did amazing. And I'm like, what do you mean, man? Like nobody danced. He's like, no, that's how it is here. Like a lot of the times they don't even clap at the end. And I was like, oh, okay. So like, this is like that serious.
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, that's just how the crowd is here. Like, no, like people don't really dance. They just stand and drink. And that was definitely the worst, like, during the show experience. We've also had other shows where like something would go wrong.
Yeah.
Like one time I remember we were opening for Sebastian Ingrosso and it was probably 2010, 2011. And he was playing in London, Ontario. And we had just finished producing a brand new song with a buddy of ours, Jed Harper. And we had no idea what we were doing at the time in terms of production. And so we finished this track. We're like, oh, this is going to fucking sound fucking sick. There was just way too much bass on this track. So as soon as the drop comes in, and I'm like the opening DJ, I'm obviously not supposed to be hyping it up this much, but just so young and so excited to be there,
right.
Before Ingrosso. And I'm like on the mic, like, this is our fucking brand new song. Drop comes, the entire fucking stage just starts shaking and music just stops.
Oh no.
So pretty much it shook so much that the router unplugged.
Oh my God.
It was like, bro, it was a good like 6 minutes of silence while they had to reboot the network or whatever. Oh, it was just terrible.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. But stuff like that is like, it's just like, it's almost not as bad in comparison, because it's just like a small mistake within the set.
Yeah, it's bound to happen at that point, right?
Exactly. At some point in your career, that's going to happen. But yeah, definitely the most memorable, like, what the fuck is going on was Albania.
That's awesome. That's an incredible story.
Yeah, and looking back, like, I mean, it was a fun set. Like, we played some good music and we had a good time up there. Me and Julian just decided to get fucking wasted because we're like, okay, well, if these guys are not gonna have a good time, we will.
We might as well do it ourselves.
We will, yeah. So we just started drinking, and then we were just so shocked at the end of the night when the guy was like, "Man, you guys crushed it."
That's incredible.
Literally could not believe it.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be a shock to your system because as a performer, you like. lots of performers and lots of DJs, you know, they're sensitive. Same with pop stars or whatever. If you don't put out a great product, at the very end, you're down. Like, I've watched guys feel like they've played a shitty set and walk into like the green room and they just like don't want to speak. They're just like, I don't want to do this, man. Like,
I think for a DJ too, it's like the absolute worst, right? Because if you're a performer, a singer, or a band or some shit, like, first off, you're usually typically playing shorter sets, but there's so much, like, so many things that are out of your control. Like, if the sound wasn't good, that's not your fault, right? Like, like if for some reason, like, the singer, you know, Mariah Carey goes out there and she's fucking doing a great job, but it just sounds terrible and the crowd's not having, that's not necessarily her fault.
Right.
As a DJ, it's 100% on you.
Yeah.
Right. Like, there's no, unless the mixer is fucking up or some shit, like, it's all on you. You just didn't do your job. Like, you didn't get people dancing. You didn't get people spending money, which is obviously a huge thing if you're coming back to a nightclub. If they're rebooking you, it's because you did a good job and people bought bottles during your set.
Yeah,
honestly.
people are
like,
buying things.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah, people are buying drinks during your set or whatever. But yeah, and so as a DJ, when you play a bad set, it's crushing. It really crushes you, man.
Yeah. I've seen even on nights where it's good and you're like, wow, they played great. Like, something inside of them knows that they could have done better or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And they beat themselves up.
Yeah. 100%.
In 2016, you come off the road.
Yeah.
What led you into that decision? And you already spoke on what brought you back, but what led you into the decision to come off the road in 2016?
I was just over it, honestly, man. From 2013 to 2016, we were doing, like, I think 2013, like 100 shows a year. 2014, 124 shows a year. And then, 2015 was like 165 shows a year. And when you take into consideration travel days, that means you're out of the house like easily 250 days a year.
Right.
That's too many, man. Honestly, like, I don't care who you are, unless there's certain people on this planet that are built to do that. Tiesto is one of them. Steve Aoki's another guy who could do 600 shows a year. Yeah. And still have a smile on and love every single second of it.
Right.
But that's just not me. I'm definitely more of a homebody. I had a long-term girlfriend that, like, we had been when we stopped in 2016, we had been dating for 6 years already. And, you know, like, when you have a girl that you're with that for that long, like, at some point, you know that she's ready for the next step, you know, to get proposed to or whatever.
Make babies.
Exactly. But yeah, like, yeah, so I missed my friends, man. I missed video games. Like, that's a huge thing for me because that's like a big stress relief for me. Yeah. Like, there's literally nothing else that compares. Like, I don't like watching TV. I hate, like, movies. I don't like sitting in a spot for too long. It's probably because I have ADD or ADHD, whatever the fuck it may be, but I can't sit there and do that. So and another thing too is, like, the come down, right? Like, you're on stage, you're absolutely crushing it. And in 2015, that's when we were at our peak, right? So, like, we're playing, like, amazing festivals, amazing nightclubs, the top nightclubs everywhere in the world. And you land, right? So you fly in, you land, let's say 4 p.m. You go to your hotel, you take a shower, the promoter picks you up for dinner.
Tim Benito gets you drunk.
Tim Benito gets you absolutely fucking shit-faced. And then your set time, depending on where you are in the world, is either like midnight or like 3 a.m. if you're in Italy. For so late. Holy fuck. And then show's over, you go back to your hotel room, and it's just you. And it's like the biggest opposite ever. Like, you just came from crushing it on stage. You had full control of everything that was going on. And people are, like, I hate to say praising because I don't want to sound like a douche, but low-key praising you. You know what I mean? Like, you sign photos, take pictures, sign some autographs. And then it's just like the absolute complete opposite of that. You go back to a hotel room, you're alone. For me, like, I wasn't bringing back girls or anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's another thing, right? That would be, I could see it being very different if I was single, because that would be part of the, you know, the show for me would be like, you know, chicks or whatever. And that just wasn't me. So I'd come back and just sit there literally in complete silence, just like watching something on TV or like
Right.
Sometimes I'd convince my boys to like stream whatever they were playing, and I would just like watch their stream just so I felt like I was connected. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, and then the next day, unless you're a fucking multi-million-dollar DJ, you're waking up to take the earliest, cheapest flight.
Yeah.
So that you can make it to the next city on time, right? And sometimes you're rerouting 6 different flights in a day because like you need to get to a place that is not very common and there's not many flights to, or you have to get picked up in a car and then drive 4 hours to the venue.
Yeah.
And all this just like weighs on you. And I know the specific moment where I decided like, fuck it. Like we were playing in Italy and this is peak, like L'Amour Toujours was on like top 40 radio there. Like it's crushing. And we play a show. At the end of the gig, we're taking photos with people in the crowd. And in Italy, we were huge at this time. Like, bro, we were really doing well. Like if we were playing festivals, we'd be playing like a 7 or 8 p.m. slot. We were way past the point of the 2 p.m. slot. So we actually have real fans now. Right. And we're out here taking pictures with these kids, and the bouncer, he's like, hey, like we gotta get these kids out of here. But I still don't understand it to this day because there was still a closing DJ on. It's not like they were trying to empty out the nightclub. Right. So there's a closing DJ on. The bouncer comes up to us, fucking douche, by the way. And he's just like, hey, I got to get you guys out of here. Like, we got to get these people out of here. It's too much commotion. And he's speaking to us like in like very broken English because he's obviously Italian, barely speaks English. And Julian are like, hey, guys, like, give us a sec. Like, these kids literally paid money to come see us tonight. It's like the absolute least we could do is like, take a picture with them. Right. Get into a little bit of a scuffle with the guy. Julian is a lot more hot-headed than I am. Didn't take it so well that this guy was saying it to him like this, and like kind of almost steps up to the guy, to the bouncer, like, bro, like chill the fuck out. Like, we're the artists. Like, people are here, like literally to come see us. Just give us a fucking second. And the guy's pretty much just like, I don't give a fuck who you are. Grabs Julian. Julian pushes him back. The guy fucking socks Julian right in the nose and broke Julian's nose. And so Julian's like in fucking absolute shock. And he's just holding his face like, what the fuck? Promoters are going absolutely nuts. The bouncer ended up getting fired, I'm pretty sure. That wasn't my intent. Now, I mean, I feel bad because that was his job, and he was, at the end of the day, he's probably just thinking he was doing his job. So I feel bad that he got fired, but come on, you don't got to be a douche like that. Yeah. But anyways, Julian flies back to Toronto the next day, and I still have to do 2 shows in Italy. And because his nose was fucked up, man. He's like, I'm not going to fucking play here. I'm just going to fly back. He flew home the entire time like this. Oh, no. and so, yeah, Julian. So yeah, poor guy. I'm on the train, literally going to the next show, and I'm just sitting there, man. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing this for? Like, I just want to be home right now. Like, this isn't even worth it, man. Like, yeah, and that, like, literally that day on that train, I was just like, I literally texted my girl, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do this anymore. And then when we got back to Toronto, like me and Julian, actually we were living in LA at the time, and we got to LA, and then me and Julian kind of had a little bit of a conversation, and I was just like, man, I'm not into this anymore. And he was like, he's pretty much telling me, he's like, I can kind of tell, like, you've just been like, your energy's definitely been not the same as it used to be. So we just kind of had a little heart to heart, and we decided that he was just going to continue on doing the Zeko, and we were just going to drop the Torres. Looking back, we kind of got fucked because had we had another name, we would have been able to continue and like still have our duo as a duo. But with the name Zeko and Torres, if you only see one guy, where the fuck is Torres? Right. You know what I mean? Right. So I think at the beginning, we didn't realize the instant disconnect that was going to cause in somebody's brain of us being called Zeko instead of Zeko and Torres, because people are looking for Zeko and Torres. Now they see Zeko. It doesn't click in their mind that we're still the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just in the studio, which is where I'm better at anyway. Like, Julian's is a producer, but like not the kind of guy that's going to sit there and like fix the mix for hours. You know what I mean? Like that's what I love to do. I love to make shit sound good. So yeah, so it was a little bit of a disconnect definitely with our message about how we were going to go forward, because I'm telling you, as soon as people saw that it was just Zeko, they just didn't get it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so had we had a name like, Bass Jackers and stuff like that, guys who have done this and, ended up with just one guy on the road, that's fine because you're still touring as the same name. But the simple fact that we were called Zeko and Torres is, I think, what messed it up for us when we did the transition.
What would your name have been? Would you have like try to figure out what strong is on?
Strong, yeah, fervent. No. It's funny enough. No, we didn't even think of like an alternative name or anything. But there's a funny story that goes into when we were picking the names Zeko and Torres. If we had actually used the opposite, because Torres is my middle name and Zeko is his last name. So if we had done the opposite and went with his middle name and my last name, our name would have been Bozo and Reposo.
Oh my God. Breaking news on the Marckie P Show.
Bozo and Reposo.
That is incrable.
Yeah,
you should just make those shirts like for president. Bozo Reposo for president.
No, thank God we picked Zeko and Torres. It just sounded way better.
Yeah, way better. Way more aesthetically pleasing than Bozo.
Yeah, way better.
So you're doing some stuff on Twitch.
Yeah.
Where you got the demo drops and you critique people's songs live on Twitch. Is that something that you wanted to do for a while now? I know you're a gamer. You're in on Twitch and you just recently started that, yeah?
Yeah. So I started, the first one I did was in December, I think.
Yeah.
So well, I mean, realistically, the demo drops, which are like the main thing I do now, those really only started in January. And where are we? We're in April. So over the past 3 months, we've like grown the little community. We have 350 members on our Discord now. It's pretty cool. But I mean, the reason I did it, it's twofold, right? So the first thing was when I was producing and like learning and stuff, there was no help, right? Like there was like, there was like YouTube tutorials just like there are now, but they were always like how to recreate Tommy Trash fucking Reload. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I don't care about how to recreate it. I'm trying to figure out how to finish my own songs and how to make my songs better.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I didn't have any of that. Well, now I was learning or whatever. So that was the main reason, like the first reason for me was because I was like, fuck, man, I'm just sitting here. I'm working on the studio every day. I could find 3 hours to just, boot up a live stream and help some kids out.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's super commendable too, where like you as the person you are with the stature that you have and the accolades to help the younger generation produce music and be better is awesome. You should be commended for that.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, like the ultimate goal is just that, like I said, man, it's just to help people make better music, because the more good music there is out there, the better. There's just so much garbage music that comes out. And I know music is super subjective and it sucks to call things garbage, but from a producer standpoint, you can hear things that are just not produced well. You know what I mean?
Very true.
And that's what limits things from sounding pro at the end of the day. You could have the best fucking idea ever, and if you just didn't do a good job producing it, just because you simply didn't know what you're supposed to be doing, then your song is going to get lost in the tussle, right? No one's going to hear it because it just doesn't sound good enough.
Right.
So if I could even help, one kid finish a song and make it sound better and releases it and it goes fucking does whatever numbers it does, man, I'll feel great about that.
That's awesome.
The second reason is a slightly bit more selfish, but I still think it's important. So if there's anything I've learned, working with Tiesto over the years, is that you need to keep your ear on the ground to see what's coming next.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like I need to be up to date with like whatever these young kids are producing and how they're doing it. Because, if I'm good, I'm only good at doing what I know how to do, if you get what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
And how many times have you seen it where like the guy at the top, not to say that I was at the top, I hate to sound like that, but like how many times
you're too humble, man. You were at the top.
I guess I'm too okay, sure. Thank you. But how many times have you seen the guys at the top or close just get like, overtaken because some kids that just figured out how to do what you do, but also their own stuff are now blowing past you. You know what I mean? And I think it's super important to just stay knowledgeable with what is happening with these younger kids and where it's going to go. You know what I mean? Because like the Hardwells and all those guys are only going to be the hottest artists in the world for a certain amount of time. Pretty soon there's going to be some young, 17-year-old kid who's just going to come in and take over. Yeah. And I just want to first off, I want to know these kids before anybody else does. Not before anybody else does, but I want to know while they're coming up. But also, like, from a production standpoint, understand what they're doing, and so that I can, continue to learn myself and integrate that into what I'm doing also.
I mean, that's incredible. That's really awesome.
I hope that doesn't sound too selfish.
No, that's not. No, literally, you're the least selfish person ever. So this doesn't sound, and you're just, right. You're being humble, right? But right behind you, there's a fucking platinum record.
Yeah, right there. You're like, very strategically placed. Yeah, very strategically placed.
I don't want to sound like a douche. Oh, by the way, hold my beer. There's a platinum record behind me. That was incredible. So we've come to
others around the room. Too.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I always said that if I got a platinum record, I would stick it above my toilet, so that when I went and peed, it's like, wow, I just pee excellence. There's this excellence here.
It's funny because I could probably get a bunch more. So I actually just recently found out that
Are you gonna send me a platinum record?
No, definitely not, bro.
Come on. Damn it.
I actually recently found out that it actually went 14 times platinum. That record.
Jeez.
Yeah, around the world. Because I actually when you were saying 11 times platinum, I was like, yeah, you're right. But I actually forgot to include Canada in that list. I'm terrible at me. How could I forget?
How dare you?
And it went 3 times. Yeah, I know. It went 3 times platinum in Canada. So in total, 14 times, which is fucking mind blowing.
That is mind blowing.
Absolutely mind blowing.
Literally mind blowing. 14 times. I'm sorry I fucked up your intro.
Nah, let's do this again. Let's start all over again.
Start this whole thing over. Fuck it. So we're at the part of the show that we call the Susan segment, where my friend Susan creates questions for me. Sweet. That when she should be doing her homework, but she's not.
All right.
George is here.
Hello.
Hello, George.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Hotel California.
Wow. Legend.
Yeah.
Legend. Mine would be probably Sweet Caroline.
Oh, I mean, okay. You know what? Can I change my answer?
Yeah, absolutely. This is your show, mate. You can do whatever you want.
Actually, sorry. I gotta add a little story on here. So we went to Tiesto's bachelor party, and we did a karaoke night, and the karaoke was inside a nightclub, which was interesting enough.
That's cool.
But we were told that we were singing Sweet Caroline so loud that it could actually be heard from inside the nightclub.
I love that. I love that. It's incredible. Yeah, so we're one and the same.
Yeah, we're one and the same. You got it.
I love that. Go ahead, George. What do you got?
I think I get Don't You Worry, Child, because I'm a huge raver, and I'm not that much into pop, so.
Okay, Don't You Worry, Child.
I can barely hear George, by the way. I don't know if I'm supposed to be hearing his mic loud and clear.
Yeah, he's probably gonna come in. He's probably gonna come in a little soft on your end.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But that's what I figured. Yeah, the audio.
I can still hear. I can still hear him. Yeah.
The ice cream truck pulls up. What are you getting?
I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm gonna get one of those rocket pops.
I was gonna say, so you're gonna have diarrhea.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting straight diarrhea. No, like one of those, whatever they're called, the red.
Yeah, the rocket pops. Rocket pops.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
I'm probably going with an ice cream sandwich or like the cookie sandwich.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
That's my vibe.
Chocolate chips, plain and simple.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Wait, chocolate chips.
Chocolate chips.
I mean, on a vanilla ice cream.
Okay, like a vanilla ice cream with chocolate. Okay.
Dipped. Okay, got you.
Language barrier, guys.
If you had to give an alien a tour, what would you show them first?
Oh, wow.
This is a good one.
Like a tour of like the world?
I don't know. It just says give them a tour. So you give them a tour, whatever you want.
Honestly, here I go again, Mr. fucking Six Lover. But I would take him to Toronto, man, because I think Toronto is probably one of the best representations of the entire world in a small little location.
That's cool.
Yeah, because I mean, like we have it's so fucking multicultural. It's actually ridiculous how multicultural it is there. Like when you think of a Canadian, like me personally, I can't picture a single person. You know what I mean? Like I can't picture a Canadian person. From my experience of living in Toronto, I just see Canadians as everything. Like every single nationality just like melts into. It's specifically Toronto because Toronto is just like a great hub for that. But yeah, I would show them Toronto because like you can show them people from all over the world. You can show them cuisines from all over the world that are amazing. And, show them like a combination of like the outskirts of Toronto, which is like farmland, and you take them to downtown and it almost feels like you're in like New York or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's just got a good range of everything. I would show them Toronto.
I love that. My answer is 2-part. I would take them to dive bars because I love dive bars. Love dive bars. Okay. Chicken wings, cold beer, dive bars, right? But I'd also like to bring them to Fenway Park because Fenway Park is magical, right?
That's a good one.
It's just so historic. And, you know, when I walk into Fenway Park, I just feel this energy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if aliens know about baseball, but I hope that when they walked in, they would feel the same energy. They'd be like, wow, this place is special.
Yeah. I've never been to Fenway.
All right. Well, next time you come to Boston, we'll
I'll come.
I'll take you. Well, I'll trade you a trip to Fenway for a platinum record.
All right.
Glad you agree. George, where would you take an alien?
I would take them to my country, to the Salt Flats for sure. So they feel kind of on the moon, so it's not that that's strange for them. And then I would also take them to EDC, so it's again not as strange for them because pretty much
you're throwing an alien right to EDC.
Right into EDC.
That's where they already all are.
I know. That's what, it needs to be like step by step because if not, it's going to be a cultural crash. So EDC is a good place for an alien.
I like that one.
Good. Fair enough. Nice.
Two more. If you could commit a crime and guaranteed to get away with it, what would you do?
Damn.
I know mine. I would I'm gonna go first.
Yeah.
I would find the armored truck that has like millions of dollars in it, and I would just steal it.
That's a good one. I'm gonna take your answer.
It's so good.
I'm gonna take your answer.
Right? There's like gold in it. There's millions of dollars.
That's a fantastic idea.
Nobody gets hurt in the process.
Yeah, that's great.
Right?
Yeah, I'm totally doing. Can I like join you on this?
Yeah, you'll be like GTA. It'll be like GTA. We'll be fine.
The cops come to pull us over. I just give them a platinum record.
Yeah, here's a record for Jackie Chan. You can have it. They just thumbs up, and you're on your way.
All right, yeah, it's sick.
George is like, I would commit murder. No, just kidding. Go ahead, George.
No, mine is less fun. I would destroy borders.
You would destroy borders?
All the borders in the world.
Okay. Open borders for everyone.
Yes.
Wow.
Damn.
I like that answer, George.
That was hard.
Nice.
You have a big heart.
Very nice. Very nice.
And last, name something that's on your bucket list.
Oh man, I have like a few. I mean, I still want to skydive, even though like that's been on my list for. Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like I've had so many opportunities at this point to go. And I just keep saying, yeah.
I'll go next time.
Yeah, I don't, maybe for the next bucket list challenge. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely one thing for sure would be to do that. Would just skydive, man. It just looks like so cool.
Yeah. Skydiving does, I mean, free falling.
Yeah, my dad did it. And he did it in Cuba on vacation, like with the shadiest way ever. Like they went to Cuba and like there was like these guys on the beach just walking around like, hey, does anybody want to skydive? And my dad's like, fuck yeah.
Oh my God. And that sounds so scary.
Absolutely terrible. He like showed me the photos and everything. Like the plane that they took up was just like, that does not look like it belongs in the sky. Like that plane looks like it should have been retired in like the 80s, man. It looked terrible.
Perfect.
And and he was like, man, it was amazing. I was like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck compelled you to do that in Cuba.
That is too good. Go ahead, George. I'm going to save mine for last.
I would like to go to 100 different countries.
Okay.
And a good way to do it would be being Luis's tour manager.
Oh, look at that.
I've only been to 55 countries.
Shameless.
55.
I like that. He wants a job, too. Look at that.
Yeah,
comes on the show, produces the show, asks you for a job.
I don't even think there's 100 countries that would book a DJ, to be fully honest.
That's probably true.
They're not doing the right marketing. I'll do the marketing. Trust me.
He's gonna get you all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah, like we played everything that you could possibly play. I'm pretty sure, and we did. I think I counted it last time was 55 countries, which is a lot, man.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's really cool. That's something cool to have in your back pocket, you know.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because I filled the whole passport in a year. I'll never forget that.
I mean,
an entire 40-page passport in 1 year.
Do you still have it?
I still have it. Yeah, I'm never throwing that out.
That's so sick. I love
beautiful memories in there for sure.
I love it. You should frame it right next to your plaque.
I should actually.
Mine would be I'm obsessed with the ocean a little bit. Okay. I want to free swim with whale sharks in Thailand.
Oh wow!
Right, just take one of those wooden.
Without even the.
Yep.
Not even the cage.
I'm fucking getting in, baby. I'm going right in.
Man, I had the opportunity to do the cage one in Australia, and I pussied out.
Well, that's a great white shark, right?
Yeah. Okay, so you're talking about not great white sharks.
Yeah, I'm talking about like a whale shark, the ones that don't eat people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those are nice.
Yeah.
Those are pettable.
Yeah, that's what I want. But I also I would do the great white thing. I would.
No chance, bro. They were like, yeah, we can take you out to the Gold. We were in Australia for a week. They're like, yeah, we can take you out to the Gold Coast and we can go shark diving with the cages. And I was like, no fucking chance. I'll go play some golf.
Yeah. Give me the sticks. Give me the sticks, bro. Where's Minnie? Yeah, I'm going right into the ocean.
I think the orcas would adopt you because you have the same pattern.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was born. I'm like every show I become a different animal. I went from being a Sasquatch to a grizzly to a honey bear. And now I'm an orca. Now I'm a whale.
Oh merch idea.
I love that. Well, that's going to conclude the show, man. Thank you for being here.
Awesome.
14-time platinum.
14 time. There you go.
Like and subscribe, everybody. Go check out It's Luis Torres on Instagram, on Twitch, and all the places. Thanks again, man, for being here.
No, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you.
This was fun.
All right, everybody. Peace.